Let's talk about messaging that lands, messaging that really connects with your ideal client, your potential client. What is really going to have that emotional connection with them that makes them say, yes, I need to get in touch with this person. I need to book them for my retreat. I need to book them for some breathwork sessions. I want to work with this person. How are we going to get them to do that? Now, messaging isn't about clever copywriting. Everyone thinks, well, not everybody, but a lot of people, it gets confused that it's about being clever with copywriting. It's about coming up with a really fancy tagline or some clever words. It's not. Messaging is all of that stuff that we talked about in the previous video that's to do with kind of the kale versus the chocolate, the need versus the want. And it's about using your clients' real words, their language. How do they describe their problem? It's no good using your words to describe their problem. You want to talk in their language, so that when they read your posts on social media, that they really like, wow, this person knows me inside out. I wrote this in my journal yesterday. Oh my goodness, have they been looking in my journal? Is that kind of vibe that you want to give? Not the sneaky vibe, but that knowing them so well vibe. And when you get this right, it will literally inform everything: your content, your conversation. So this isn't just about being online. This is, how do you describe yourself? How do you talk to people when you meet people at festivals, or when you're out and about just having a coffee with somebody? What about if you wanted to get into corporates and you need to go and speak to the HR director and discuss what you do and how you help people? This messaging will come into all of that. And once you get really clear on that, it becomes really much easier to kind of sell your services. And the reason I'm kind of diving into this messaging piece in quite detail in this specific YouTube series is because a lot of people will focus on social media. It's like, okay, I've got to get onto social media, and they will focus on the mechanics of reels and posts and stories and algorithms and all those kind of things. And of course, that's important. But we could spend days and we could have 50 videos just on, how to create a reel on Instagram or how to do this. And a lot of that is kind of just the mechanics of the platform. And the thing is, it changes all the time as well. Whereas your messaging, once you've really got the mechanics of this will inform everything. You want to get this clear before you even think about social media. And once you get this messaging really clear, it's not going to change. Instagram may change their algorithm, but your messaging won't change. So that's why I'm going really deep on this, because it really does create the basis of so much work that you're going to do in the future. So this is a really great kind of framework just to think about. It's the before and the after and the bridge. You're the bridge. So everything that you are going to do, the messaging, everything in your messaging needs to tell a story. Now, stories are so powerful. Anytime you kind of write posts or create something, stories, we're used to stories. We're used to somebody saying, once upon a time, this happened. We have a beginning, we have a middle, and we have an end. We are used to that. And when we can create stories in our messaging, it really, really helps. So what is the beginning? It's where they are now, their pain in their words, not yours. I can't switch off after work. I get home from work and I can't switch off. I wake up every night at 2 a.m. and I feel like I'm constantly on edge. Those are the kind of words they might use. Where do they want to be? So we're thinking about that chocolate outcome, the need versus the want. I just want to be able to get to sleep. I just want to sleep the whole night. I just want to feel more present. I want to be able to be present with my kids and not snapping at my whole family. Well, how are you going to get them there? This is the bridge, and this is where the breath work goes. This is the vehicle. It's not the headline. This is not what you're going to start with, the breath work. This is the outcome. This is how you're going to get them there. So where are you going to really understand and get a hold of this kind of language and things? So your clients and everybody, that you want to work with are using the language. So you just need to listen, which often means read, but you just need to listen. So if you're holding discovery calls or anything like that with your clients already, just speak to them. If you're already kind of practicing or whatever, you can, when you're having conversations with them, really speak and listen, to the words and the language that they're using. If not, if you're at the very beginning, Read reviews of breathwork courses, wellness products, therapy services. What do people say that they want? Search Facebook groups, Reddit, online forums, and see how real people describe their stress, their anxiety, and their sleep. And I think talking to people is the main one. You can just be having a coffee with a friend who may be, she's not necessarily somebody you're going to pitch for breathwork, but if you're wanting to get into a corporate world and they're working in a corporate environment, you just listen to the kind of words that they might use about kind of their job and their anxiety and how they're kind of, dealing with all those things. Your clients are giving you the exact messaging, the copy that you need. So do some research, listen and read exactly in your space just to get an idea of the words that they use so you don't get caught up in using all the jargon of our industry. Now, this so what test is something that I have used for absolutely years across anything. Anytime I write anything, I always put a so what at the end of it. So what? What does that mean to your client? Even the simple thing, I'm a certified breathwork practitioner. So what? What does that mean to anybody apart from you? What does it mean to your client? I offer one-to-one breathwork sessions. So what? What does that change in their life? Well, it reduces stress and anxiety. So what? What will they get? Always go one level deeper. So what? So what will they get if they reduce their stress and their anxiety? They will feel calmer, they will sleep better, and they will feel in control of their emotions. They will be more present. That's the messaging. That's what you lead with. When you start writing a sentence, go, so what, so what, so what? Go deeper, deeper, deeper until you get to this nub of what that outcome is, of what that person will feel. If you can describe the end result and that feeling, that's what you want to lead with in your social media copy and, everything else. Specificity is everything. I think you can tell this is where I'm going with it. Vague messaging speaks to no one. Specific messaging speaks to exactly the right person. So you can see if you really start saying these things really clearly, you are going to attract exactly those people that you want to work with. You can build a business. Yes, you can open it up a bit wider after that. Yes, you can change your messaging and attract a slightly different ideal client or different. You'll go, well, I really want to work with this ideal client and that ideal client. Absolutely fine. You can do different campaigns. You can put different social media out there. Once you've got a foundation, don't be too confused at the beginning. Definitely kind of head with one. It's always really good when you're starting off in business. The power of one is like unparalleled. Just to have one offer, one ideal client, kind of one funnel, one kind of messaging stream, all of those things. Just work with the power of one, get that working really, really well first, and then you can expand after that. Don't worry about the fact that you think, well, I'm going to just be like repelling certain people or alienating people that I can definitely work with. You will, but the right people will find you first, and those other people will also find you. Other people will connect with it and be able to get in touch with you, but the wrong people are never going to buy anyway, so we don't need to worry about them. So specificity creates an immediate and emotional response. You're reading my mind. That is what you want from it. You want to create that emotional connection, which of course creates trust. Emotional connection and feeling like somebody is seen, heard, and understood. That is what will create trust and authenticity, and that's what we really want. So once you have this, you can use it everywhere. And again, don't worry about it being perfect. That's fine. Get something started and refine it as you go along. So remember, good messaging doesn't describe what you do. It describes what changes for that person that you want to work with. Lead with that transformation.